Right, so hello and welcome back to another episode of Cars and Engineering. Today I'm going to be repairing this little crack in the windscreen using the RainX windscreen repair kit. Stay tuned. Now this is the crack I will be repairing today. It's about the size of my little finger, so it's not too massive, but it's not too small either. This was a brand new windscreen about 6 weeks ago, and I was on the motorway on the way to work, and a massive great big rock hit me, and I think Auto Glass wanted the best part of like £100 to fix this, so I bought the £8 kit or the £10 kit from Halfords, and hopefully we're going to repair this today. Now, as far as I'm aware, you need sunlight to do this, and it's kind of late in the day, but the sun is still out somewhat. It has been raining. I was waiting for it to stop raining before I even attempted this, but as you can see, there's quite a bit of water on the windscreen, so I'm going to use a microfiber to get rid of that. But what I'm also going to do as well, I'm going to clean the area around the crack with some isopropyl alcohol, which should get rid of any debris or anything, any nasties that I haven't actually got off with the microfiber. Right, so now the area around it has been cleaned thoroughly. I'm going to open the kit and see what's inside it. Now, as far as I'm aware, it's a suction pad that goes over the crack in question, and then you get like a applicator, you get like a sort of a nozzle to put over the actual crack, and then you get this plunger. You put the solution in here and then plunge it into the crack by twisting it. You actually get the solution itself. You don't get a lot, it's a tiny little bottle, but you also get obviously your instruction manual, and inside that you get some items as well. You get some clear bits of plastic. These are, I think they're the UV filters, they make it go off, but you also get a razor blade as well, so you have to be careful with that. We'll leave them in there for a minute. I believe they're wrapped up in this paper to stop them from going off from UV be on the shelf, because you don't know where it's going to be on the shelf. So I'll leave that inside the car for now, wrapped up. It also advises to open the razor blade, scrape along to make sure there's no loose pieces of glass inside the actual chip, and I think I am getting some out, but it feels pretty smooth, so I'd say that's pretty okay. So be careful with the razor blade because they're bloody sharp. Put that inside. Now this is your applicator sort of spider or suction pad. That circle has to go over crack, just like that, so the crack is directly below this threaded hole here. As you can see, there's a crack there, it's placed over it. So this is where you get the lower half of the plunger and the actual holder. Now this has a rubber seal around the bottom. You have to spin that in like that until it's tight against the glass. This is what I mean by tight against the glass. It's just on the verge of lifting the actual holder up itself, so that's as tight as I can possibly get it without these suction pads coming off. So this is a repair resin. You take the cap off and then you can cut the bubble off. Obviously be careful with your fingers. Now the instructions say 3 drops for a small crack or 6 drops for a big crack. Because this is sort of 2 individual chips and a crack, I'm going to put about 5 in and then see how we go. So that's 5 inside the actual chamber itself. I'm putting the lid back on that. And here is the plunger. Now it says to screw this down and wait for about 5 minutes. So now that's tight into the actual chamber itself, you have to wait 5 to 6 minutes for the resin to do its thing and permeate into the actual crack. So I'm going to wait 5 minutes and then you back this off and put it back in, and then you can actually remove this actual base and see if the crack's been filled. Right, so now that is done, that is threaded all the way in, you have to wait 6 minutes now for that to get into the crack and permeate into all the nooks and crannies. So I'm going to wait 6 minutes and then I'll come back this off to release any air pressure and then put it back in and remove the entire thing. Right, so it's been 6 minutes. I'm going to back off the rear or the plunger. Pull it out to get rid of any air. And it says put it back in. And then I believe we can remove the actual suction kit itself to see what's happened. Now, from what I can see, if I zoom in, you can see the 4 suction marks. You can see where the resin has been put in. Now, I'm going to put another little drop, just using the actual applicator itself. To fill in the crack. And now I need one of them UV sensitive pieces of paper to make it cure. The curing strip is purely a piece of cellophane, but I'm assuming it is something to do with the UV filter built in or somewhat. Just gonna wipe away any water from the suction pads. You can see there's some resin going down, but that's not too much of an issue. Put this on. Don't feel tempted to push down on it. It will do its thing. So you can see the resin that is now doing its job and curing the film. The razor blade as well can be used when this goes off to scrape any excess off the windscreen, so it's a lovely smooth finish. So we've got to leave this now, let it cure, and then come back in about 10 minutes. Now while I have a few minutes, I'm going to ask you very nicely to subscribe to the channel. We are growing very steadily and very quickly at the moment. The more people on board, the better. The more people my videos reach. So yeah, please consider subscribing, and while this is going off, maybe have a look through my video. Right, so as you can see here, I've been using one of my camera lights to make it cure faster. I'm not sure if the LED put out UV, but it must put out some kind, because it has gone very firm. So I'm going to remove that and then use a razor blade to scratch off the excess. Just going to peel the activation paper back. it's visibly reduced. You can't really see it on the camera, but it's right there in the shadow of my finger. So I might need to come back to this tomorrow and have direct sunlight on it for a good few hours. Now today is now tomorrow. That's the crack there. Well, it's more of a chip now. The crack is slightly gone, but there's still a rough edge there. So I'm going to re-clean it, set up the spider, put more windscreen repair solution in the actual chamber, and then use the plunger to push it into the crack again. Today you can see I'm in direct sunlight, so that should make it cure faster and better. So now that's the second application done to this windscreen, and leave it again for 6 minutes. Back it off so it releases the air out of the system, and then we can take it off and have a look again. Right, so again it's been 6 minutes. I just need to back this second nut off, purely to let any air out. And then put it back in, same as before. And now I can remove the actual spider itself to see the repair again. Now, like last time, I'm going to put some more solution on. Just to really fill the crack, and now I need one of them UV reactor strips to get it to go hard. Right, and now that should dry in about 10-15 minutes, so we'll come back, scrape off the excess, and then see actually how much of a repair it's done. Right, so it's been about 10 minutes and the resin is hard as far as I'm aware. So I'm going to use the razor blade now. I'm going to peel this off and then remove any excess from the windscreen. Now you can kind of see the crack still. I'm going to put one last application on and then leave it for about 20 minutes, and then I'll go from there. Right, so it's been about 20 minutes. I'm going to peel this off now. That is now rock solid and flat. I'm going to use the razor blade to take off the rest. Again. Right, so there's a crack still. It's kind of smooth, kind of not. I think the resin stopped it from cracking any further, but I don't think it's worked that great. I will give it a few more attempts off camera, but yeah, it's okay. It's sealed it. It hasn't repaired it as such, but yeah, you can see it's not really repaired it. It's stopped it from cracking any further. So I can't really recommend this. I'm going to try it again and I'll update you. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, then please like it, please subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Take care.